Hello, this is Kent from Easy Test Pool Supplies, and today we're going to be showing you how to replace the motor on your existing Hayward super pump. The first thing we'll need to do is use a 9/16 socket wrench to remove the placement bolts from the seal plate on your Hayward super pump. This will allow the motor to slide out. Now that we've detached the motor from the housing, we're going to begin to disassemble it to get to just the motor. The first thing we'll do is take off the diffuser. This is as easy as just pulling it off. Next, we're going to remove the back electrical plate. We're going to use our nut driver to loosen up the screws, or you can use a flathead, and that way we're able to pull off this rear plate. Once we're there, I'm going to remove this capacitor for ease of use. This allows me to easily access the 7/16 drive shaft so that I'm able to hand untighten the impeller. Once the impeller is off, we're able to remove the seal plate and get to the housing that's bolted onto the motor itself. Once again, we're going to use our 9/16 wrench to loosen up the bolts. At this point, we can discard the old motor and use the new one. Now we will unbox our Hayward 1 horsepower motor. And now we will begin to reassemble. We need to locate the top of the motor, as we can see here. So we will begin with our motor mounting plate, and we will find the top indicated on it and match it to the top of our motor, lining up the placement so that the bolts can get threaded in. Take the 9/16 mounting bolts and begin to thread them into the motor. We will take our 9/16 socket wrench and mount this tight to the motor housing. Next, we will take our seal plate, also indicating which side is on the top, and we are going to place a new Hayward 201 seal in there. We're going to want to use the lubricant to put on the rubber portion of it, being careful not to touch the ceramic plate, and installing in the seal plate. This will then be placed with the top facing up onto the mounting plate. We will now use our nut driver to remove the bolts on the rear of the motor. I will loosen up the capacitor for ease of access. Now I will take the impeller and place the other half of the seal over the shaft, pressing this down into position. Once the seal is over the shaft, we make sure that ceramic is touching ceramic on the seals, and we will begin to hand thread on the impeller onto the drive shaft, simply hand tightening it on. At this point, we will use our 7/16 wrench and place it over the drive shaft to lock it into position, and finish tightening on our impeller by hand. Once that is hand tightened on, we will simply put the capacitor back into place. So while we still have the back panel off, it's important to note your electrical connections here. These come wired for 230 volts, and it's very easier to move the jumper to install it for 115. Once the capacitor has been put back in place and your electrical connections have been made, reinstall this rear plate and tighten the bolts back in. And finally, we will take our diffuser, making sure that the top is facing the top, and install that onto the front of the impeller. Now that we have our motor reassembled, we are going to reattach it to the housing using our 9/16 socket wrench and our mounting bolts. So we will take the motor and slide it back into the housing, lining up the mounting holes. And now we will tighten it to the housing. And there we have it. Now we've installed our replacement motor onto our existing Hayward super pump. For any further questions or if you'd like to purchase, please visit us at easytestpools.com and remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.